Hello, I'm Melissa Robinson, Communications Director for Henry County Government, and this is Henry Talks with our special guest host, Clayton Cart, and our special guest, District 1 Commissioner Johnny Wilson. Welcome, Commissioner. Thanks for being here.
Well, thank you for inviting me, and it's good to be here.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So I wanted to start, I know we've talked a little bit in the past, and I've known you for a long time, but I think it's important for people who may not know, if there's anybody out there that doesn't know, that you actually had a long career in Henry County with the fire service.
That's correct.
So, yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
So I started my fire career as a volunteer for Henry County back in 1977.
You're dating yourself? Yeah. Okay.
And then in 1981, I took a job with the Riverdale Fire Department, and I worked with Riverdale until 1990.
Right.
I resigned, and I come to work for Henry County in 1990 as well, and then I retired in 2013.
Okay, not too long ago.
You didn't
really retire because you're still working, so.
Well, from
fire
service,
you retired.
yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
right.
I retired from the fire service in 2013.
Tell me that before you go on, I want you to tell me this. You were a volunteer firefighter,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm from the Northeast, so there is a lot of volunteer firefighters. But what makes someone want to become a volunteer firefighter? Because it's a hard job with not a whole lot of benefit, I don't think.
Well, at that time, I was 19 years old.
Okay.
And Henry County had, I want to say, 6 fire stations.
Wow.
And they had 6 paid firefighters, but 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And my brother was actually one of the paid firefighters.
Okay.
And so, visiting him in the fire station, they said, "Why don't you come join us?" I'm like, "Why would I want to do this?" So as I worked with them guys, I seen where the heart was. I seen what it meant to the community.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what, this may be something I'd be interested in. So they sent me through all the training, and it was rewarding.
Yeah.
And another reason they wanted me to join, because I lived right next door.
So it's easy access for a firefighter.
Yeah, because when the alarm went off, I'd be the first one there to grab the truck, right?
I guess that alarm was going off right inside your bedroom.
So it was it was a good time in my career where Donna and I was recently got married right after that, and we started having, I think our firstborn was in 1983. So I had a period of time where I could dedicate time to the community and to her as well.
That's great.
And I probably got that backwards. Probably said dedicate my time to her then
first,
my
right?
community.
That's
so,
right. Yes, if Donna's
but
hearing, listening, watching, yes, you're first.
But she's very supportive in that role as well.
That's
So
great. She's supportive of you now.
absolutely,
So you're lucky for
absolutely.
that.
She's been my rock through this whole political thing, and she was right there with me in my fire department career as well.
I love that. And I know you said there were 6 fire stations at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have 16.
16.
And if all things were perfect, we would have how many, really? I mean,
I think if you look at the fire chief's plan, I think probably should be 26 or 8.
wow. So we're moving towards that.
Just because of the growth. I mean,
Right.
you project the growth, but 26 or 8 of them, I believe, is what
Okay, yeah.
they're.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of growth here, and it's to cover what we need, what people need.
Absolutely. Now, when my first 4 years as a commissioner, we built 5 fire stations, I believe.
When was that? You came in 8 years ago?
Come in 17. So
Okay, right.
we built 14, 15, 16, had replaced 6 and 8.
Okay, I remember those. Yeah.
So
And then next one coming will be.
there's a couple of them on the books. I think there's the station out on 81,
Okay.
which is going to house an ambulance and a QRV.
Okay.
And I believe they're going to name that one or label that one as Station 17.
Great.
And the one on
Is that
Jody
right?
Cove.
Yes.
We're making sure that's right.
And the one on Jody Cove
Okay.
would be 18. And of course, we have the Station 5 rebuild out
Right.
in Hampton.
Yeah.
That
that's
should
great.
be coming up soon.
I mean, it's a lot going on, and you just participated with the other commissioners and our leadership in the ceremonial pushing of the giant trucks into the
Right.
garage. And I know you had a few interesting words when you talked about the old days versus the new days. I thought it was kind of.
So I'm not going to go all the way back to the 1977 days because them fire trucks were, they wasn't new. They were some makeshift type fire trucks,
Sure.
apparatus. But when we started getting equipment, it was just as we needed them. And we would drive them until they absolutely would quit. And we could not repair them anymore.
Right.
And that went on for years.
Well, it was a much smaller community, so it was
was.
a much smaller tax base.
It was.
And I don't think there was any kind of SPLOST program back then. I think it came much later.
I think Splash One was introduced probably in early
1997.
Yeah, okay. Late 90s. I was going to say early 2000, but yeah, late 90s.
He was a mere elementary school child then, or I don't know. Were you? I don't want to ask. I'm not going to ask. I'm sorry. We talked about this before. He's a wealth of information.
Yeah, and that brings up a great point that the SPLOST program has allowed in the last 20 years. It's given more revenue to help replace fire equipment, help replace police cars, as well as do a number of other things around the community, such as build new stations and build new road projects. Whereas back in the 80s, property taxes was your primary revenue source for those types of expenses.
Right. And there wasn't a whole lot of properties back then, right? I mean, it was few and far between.
That's right.
More rural, I guess.
And I remember back when we was building the new Station 3, new Station 4, I think we did a new Station 5, and that's been further on back.
Yeah.
But some of these stations were built on donated land.
Oh, wow. That's great.
And the donated land was not probably as good place to put a fire station.
Wow.
We've had to go back at Station 3, and we've had to tear out parts of the bay because I'm not going to say it was on swampland, but it was probably an unsuitable soil to put a building of that size on. So we had to go back and either remove part of the concrete in the bays and replace that. And
kind of move it in another direction, I guess.
Well, they had to support, the slab and everything and pour it under there.
Okay.
Because that was one of our stations back 97, I believe, when we got our first ladder truck, a new ladder truck. And that's where it was housed, was out of there. And that bay where that ladder truck sat was the one that was giving them issues. And
when you think ladder truck, I'm just a regular civilian, so these numbers don't compute with me. But new trucks are what? What do they cost?
Yeah, so a new ladder truck cost about $2 million. And the board actually recently approved the purchase of what will be the county's first aerial drawn ladder, or sometimes referred to as a tiller truck. And what that is, if for those that may have seen the fire engine, that it's like a semi, and the ladder is on a fifth wheel pivot like a semi tractor trailer. And so the county will actually be receiving its first tiller truck in a few years. It takes about 3 to 4 years from the factory. But yeah, that was a purchase the board authorized for one of the future fire stations.
Right.
As well as a new engine and a new ambulance that we have approved. The board approved that purchase using SPLOST 6 funding, and so those equipment are now on order, and when they're built at the factory, they'll be delivered to Henry County.
So, Commissioner, was that always the case? Because since I've been here, I know that we as a county have to order these things so far ahead to get them built, was that always the way or no?
Well, years ago, you could order 3 or 4 fire trucks and they could be ready within a year.
Oh, wow. Okay. So it's changed.
If you order just one, and it's a couple ways to purchase equipment. You can buy what they call a spec truck. That's something that's already been built sitting out there on the lot. You can go in and say, well, that kind of meets our needs. You can purchase it and have it delivered within a couple of weeks.
Right.
But Henry County is to the point where we need our trucks built for our needs here in Henry County.
Right.
So
Custom.
Those are special ordered trucks.
Okay. Interesting. Well, so I think your history in fire service gives you a very unique perspective as an elected official in Henry County, because you've been the employee, and you're a resident, you've been an employee. So you definitely have a good view of what it's like on both sides.
Absolutely. So one of the first things the board did, along with our county manager, because Sherry Matthews was hired as the county manager right after I was elected.
Okay, I remember.
And so she had a good vision of where we needed to be, and we did several things. We had to do a comp class study,
right?
Because we knew that we had to keep good employees, and to attract employees as well.
Sure.
And so we implemented that. We had to implement some programs where we could replace some of these trucks, and which was through splash dollars.
Right.
So it's been a challenge for us because of the growth, but we're trying to keep up with all of those challenges.
Right.
And I believe we've had another class comp
Okay.
since then, and so it's what they call growing pains.
Right. Right.
But with the county manager staff and all the departments, and they're doing a great job keeping us in the direction we need to be going.
I agree, and I think they have a plan, so a plan is always important. Even if you're playing catch up in some areas, you have to know where you're going. You have to know the direction you're going. So,
yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that plan, I recently heard the fire chief say that there are a little over 400 personnel now in the fire department. And the county's 2026 budget that the board recently approved back in May actually added about 20 new positions to the fire department as county management and the budget team continue to work with the fire department to grow and improve, add more staffing for some of these future stations that will be coming online.
that's great.
So when I come to work for Henry County in 1990, there was 25 personnel per shift.
Wow,
Per shift.
that's incredible.
We was running engines with one personnel.
Well, I mean, is that from technology or just from necessity or?
Well, they just didn't have the funding,
Right.
and so they had to start somewhere, right?
From 25 to well over 100 now per
Right.
shift.
That's right.
That's great.
But in 90, we had 9 fire stations.
Right.
And then they, of course, Lake Dow come shortly after that, Station 10.
So now 16.
And now we're 16.
So we're going to switch because we're going to run out of time, but I definitely want to get to some other topics, especially Clayton's favorite subject.
Hey,
which is
we love talking about roads in
spots.
Henry County
Right.
and traffic. Everyone's favorite topic is the traffic around Henry County.
Right.
And speaking of traffic, Commissioner, you're in your 3rd term on the board. You're the longest serving member on the board. And in your entire time as Commissioner, you've always made transportation investment a big priority in District 1. Can you touch a little on just some of the projects that you've overseen as Commissioner and that we've worked on in District 1?
So my first year, there was a couple of projects that were launched. Frog Road, the improvement of Frog Road. That was right out of the chute. I went to a groundbreaking. I'm like, what are we doing?
I remember.
But that was from a Splash 4 project. That
Right.
was before my term. And then we moved on to another Splash 4 project was the extension of McDonald Parkway
Right.
from what runs through our DOT yard, and then it stops out there at 20 and 81. And of course, the state's they out there now working to make that a 4-lane. Then when that's completed, then we're going to do the roundabout.
Right. That's right.
And on the other side of the McDonald Parkway is on the other what would be the east side of 42. That's going to continue all the way to 155, and I think that was a Splash 5 project with some funding through.
And our Transportations Plus program as well.
That's right.
So,
Parking spots.
yeah, that's been in the works for a long time.
Okay.
But yeah, multiple segments of the McDonald Parkway are moving forward. And for those that may not be familiar, that's going to build a bypass, and it will create a bypass around downtown McDonough so that motorists have another option instead of having to go through the square. They'll have another way to help get around town.
And we're hoping that that's
benefit,
going
that's
to give
right.
all the tractor trailers another option because to relieve some of those
Right.
rigs going through the square.
Right. Yeah.
And speaking of extra connectivity and giving motorists more options, another big one in District 1 has been the Peaksville Road project. Can you touch on that, Commissioner?
Absolutely. And probably in it was, I'm going to say mid-2000.
Okay.
The first phase of Peachville, which runs off of Keys Ferry,
Right.
it was improved. And that they stopped that at New Hope.
Oh, okay.
And so phase 2 come under Splash $4, but the construction was probably 4 years ago.
Okay.
And so now we're finished. We just finished up probably a year ago, phase 3, which completes the Peachville Road connectivity from Keys Ferry all the way to Old Jackson. If you look at the Peachville Road from Old Jackson to to Locust Grove. That's been there for quite a while.
Okay.
So it's going to give our citizens a way to get from Locust Grove to 81 without catching all the back roads.
They will love that. And you really have to know all of your roads in your district to know how those are working, what's not working, how to fix it. So kudos to you, because I know that you do a lot with that and you do a lot of research on it. So that's great.
Currently, they're working on. We're going to do a groundbreaking on Berg Road. That's going to be another connectivity road from 42, which is going to come out right there south of Locust Grove.
Okay.
And
Clayton, are you going to set that up? Are you setting that up right now?
Yeah, we are working on getting that scheduled, and we'll be letting residents know soon more information about Berg Road. No, that's absolutely another big SPLOST 5 project, about $7 million of SPLOST dollars being invested to provide that additional connectivity in southern Henry County.
And that way to get to stay off the back roads and having to go through the city of Locust Grove.
There you go. That's right.
But that's what's important throughout the county is connectivity.
Yes, absolutely.
And we got those projects going. And I think, Clayton, you said we have like $1 billion worth of road projects. Projects and all on the books.
Between Georgia Department of Transportation and some of our Henry County SPLOST projects, there's over $2 billion allocated to Henry County road projects.
Yeah.
And so traffic is, of course, a hot topic in Henry County. We all sit in it as Henry County residents, going to work, going to the grocery store, going to the kids' football game. But there are quite a few improvements in progress, and residents can check out the SPLOST website to learn more about those different projects.
Yeah, so I don't know if you know this, but you may. Clayton has really redone all of our SPLOST pages on the website. Every project has its own page. So for people who want to learn more and really get the latest information, they can go to
henrycountysplost.com.
There you go. So it's important for people to understand where that money goes and what pieces and how long it takes, because these projects sometimes take a long time and people don't always understand that.
And I think what's important for people of District 1, of all our SPLOST dollars in 5 and 6 allocated to transportation.
Yes.
And if you add all that up, I think it's around $65 million.
It's a lot. It's hard to wrap your head
around. And that's not including the T-spot.
Yeah, not to mention Bill Gardner Parkway, a big corridor in Locust Grove, is part of Transportation SPLOST. That project is buying right away, and we plan to start construction in 2026, 4-laning Bill Gardner between the interstate and State Route 155.
And then we have some money from the state to do scoping on 42 South.
Okay.
Between Locust Grove and 155.
So a lot going on.
A lot of projects.
Go on about this for a long time, but we're gonna have to end it here. I have a question for you, and this is a fire question, and it's kind of off the cuff. I don't know why I'm asking this, but I want to know. I see commercials for this rag you can buy that will put out fires in your kitchen just by throwing it on there. Is it worth buying? Is that a good thing to buy?
I don't know much about that particular piece project.
Or what do you call it, fire extinguisher?
But any resident that has a grease fire,
right?
Yeah,
tell me.
You have to be careful how you extinguish these fires.
Okay.
Because you can cause more damage.
With water.
Well, you can cause personal injuries.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have a grease fire, and you can read about grease fire, go ahead and put the lid on it. If you put it on the wrong way, if you go around the back and try to extinguish a grease fire with a lid, you're pushing the fire towards you.
Oh, I didn't.
So there's a technique to do that, but I wouldn't advise it.
Okay. I'm just asking what people are thinking.
Unless you know how to do this,
right?
Best thing to do is take the pot off the stove. And if it's not going to include anything other than the pot burning,
right?
Probably just let it burn out, then call 911. And if it causes more interruption than just the pot, I'd exit the structure. Take all your kids and your dogs with you.
Absolutely.
And let the professionals take care of it, right?
I would say, or you could just not cook. I mean, we don't.
Well,
just DoorDash.
That's an option because we have a lot of places to eat in
yes,
here.
We do. Yes, we do. So go local.
If you can get there through the traffic, right?
We're working on that.
Yeah, we're working on that.
No, that's
absolutely.
Great way to end it. So I want to thank you so much for being here. It was a great conversation.
Thank you, Commissioner.
We're going to welcome you back again to talk more about what's going on. Clayton, a wealth of information. Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody for watching or listening to Henry Talks with Commissioner Wilson, and we will see you next time. So thank you so much.